I wanted to ask Lewis. I want to ask you this question: is it a respectful bid from Tottenham to bid £50 million for both Harvey Barnes and Maddison collectively, or is that taking the proverbial?
See, if it was a bit more, I would have understood it being like an opening bid to start negotiations. But 50 mil for the pair of them, that's hella disrespectful. You're trying to say both of them are valued at like 25 million each, or even James Maddison, who's like 50 million at a bare minimum. You're trying to say Harvey Barnes isn't worth a penny. Regardless, someone's going to be disrespected, be it Leicester, Maddison, Barnes, probably all three of them. But yeah, it's massively disrespectful. I don't know if they'll get the deal through. I think if Maddison has any other big six clubs interested in it, will probably prefer them because Tottenham look like a mess right now, but they didn't help themselves.
I think when you
get one free Big Mac Tuesday. This is buy one get one free Big Mac. They really think that they can get it over the line like this. It's literally it's a McDonald's deal, bro. It's like buy one get one free.
All I have to say is, imagine if Manchester United or Arsenal tried to pull this off. We would be spoken about for years about how
a meme will be made about this.
Yeah, it's like they're lucky they're Tottenham. They get away with these kind of dumb moves.
But I think about this. It goes back to Levy, innit? Levy, we know he's not. He's trying to eke every penny out of the buying club from him, and then save and pinch on the pennies when he's purchasing from someone else. But I think they know that Leicester are in a very precarious position. They've obviously been relegated. Their finances are very, very poor. So I would suggest it's probably an opening bid because Leicester's not going to accept that. But when you go in that low already, you're kind of letting them know, listen, don't even try and fleece us. Because we're not here for your games. We know the situation you're in. I think the only way Leicester can hold off from probably getting robbed, which is, I think, in the end is probably what's going to happen, is if other teams come in. So if a Newcastle come in and say we want James Maddison for 50, then of course they're not going to sell both Maddison and Barnes to Spurs for 50 million. But if Spurs are the only bidders for those two, then in the end Leicester's going to have to cave because they cannot keep those two in the Championship. It's impossible.
The thing is, it's just the same old shit. They've got a new manager in now as well. Like, surely you'd want to go in with an offer which, realistically, like you said, Neeks, first offer might not get accepted. But this is taking the piss, right? This is beyond disrespectful, saying that each player's 25 million. For me, if I'm Leicester, I'm looking to go sell them elsewhere because Harvey Barnes, West Ham won him, and Maddison's wanted by Newcastle. I'm not sure if we won him, but I think he's one of the players on our list potentially. There's going to be other clubs coming in that will pay the 50 million for Maddison, pay the 40 million. So it's not even a first offer. I would say this is just beyond disrespectful to offer 50 million for both these players. I don't get the thinking behind it. Considering they've just got this new manager in, surely you'd want to start on a good note with him. Do you know what I mean? So he keeps apologizing. He keeps apologizing with these open letters. Yours sincerely, Daniel, and all of these things, and he keeps doing the same thing. Like. It's beyond a joke.
Even look at Kulusevski because that deal that has been done from the moment that they got him a loan. There was an agreed fee. I think it's about 35 million, but Spurs don't want to pay it, so they've gone back to Juve to basically negotiate. Like Levy is,
he's something else, man.
He is, but this is the thing. It's as you said earlier, Nick. He wants you to pay top dollar for his players, and he wants to underpay for everybody else. And I kind of get the notion behind it. But what's going to end up happening again to Tottenham is they're going to have a substandard summer. And I think the fans have learned after last year, maybe the last 3, 4, 5 years, stop bigging up their summers. They've got a manager who is very inexperienced at this level of the game. He's never managed at this level before. He's easily the third, fourth, fifth choice, maybe even beyond that. They need a good start to their summer transfer window, and they make a disrespectful bid like this. And I'll add this. Look, I know Tottenham are in London. I know they've got a beautiful stadium, and some people are attracted to being in London and the stadia and everything else. But Newcastle's an amazing city. They're in the Champions League. The club's heading in the right direction. They have a better manager. I cannot understand for the life of me why James Maddison would pick Tottenham over Newcastle. Over the next 10 years, what Newcastle are going to go on to achieve compared to Spurs. Spurs won't win a trophy in the next decade, where Newcastle are more likely to. They're going to play Champions League football, and they're trying to develop a team that's going to play in the Champions League on a regular basis, but not just be in it. They're going to try and win it. They're already talking about the likes of Barella as an example. Now, they may not get that done this year, but that's the ambition of that football club. Spurs can't do that. They can't do it at all. So, look, I'm not even trying to be horrible towards Tottenham. I'm just speaking facts here. It's a horrible move for Maddison. Harvey Barnes, maybe not. But £50 million for the two of them, get out of here. Not in 2023. Not when Gibbs White is being sold for 40+ million. You can't do that.
Terry, Tottenham are at a crossroad. They need to decide what they want to be. At this point, if they don't get their act together quickly, they might be stuck as a mid-table club very soon. And that's not even a joke.
They were before 2009.
I know, but they got themselves in a situation where they got up and competing for top 4 consistently, even got close to a title race twice, but they never got over the line. Now they've fallen back down so much that it's going to take them a lot to get back up again. And it's a lot easier to drop than it is for them to get back up, in my opinion.
I don't see them going back up, to be honest. I just, especially if the Qataris buy Man United, I think even the benchmark will be raised. And I don't think they have any thoughtful processes to actually improve their club. I think, the stadium is beautiful and everything is great in the infrastructure, but I don't think the ambition is there to actually win and compete with these guys. So they're just going to go back to be in the Everton Cup, 6th, 7th place. That's it. That's what's going to be it.
It's business first for Spurs. Business before football. And when you've got owners like Man City, like Newcastle, hopefully like Man United, which can afford to put the football before the business as their priority, then you're always going to struggle. Especially like Spurs are, yes, they're a big club when you compare to all the clubs that exist in the world, but at the elite level, they're not a big club. So how are you attracting the players that you need to get back to the top if you don't have a bottomless pit where you can put football before business at every juncture? They don't have that. They don't have a pull based on their name like Arsenal do. They don't have a pull based on their success like Chelsea do. So what is it that's going to attract players to Spurs? You say money, but they haven't got.
But they don't pay, guys.
Their wages as well quite low.
Yeah, they don't pay you guys.
The thing about Spurs is that they've got so many parts about their club as a whole, which you can actually build something off of. The fact that they're in London, the fact that they've got this big stadium. There's so many things you can do with Spurs. If the Qataris came into Spurs, for example, they would flip that team. They would make that into the brand new thing. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot that you can pump into that club and actually make it into something. But until Levy goes, it's going to be the same thing. This guy's going to take one step forward, about 16 steps back. It's not 5 steps back. It's about 16, 17 steps back. Do you know what I mean? He says one thing, but his actions show something else. So, listen, let it carry on because I don't like Spurs. But, again, with Levy, as a football fan, it's a bit mad how he is as an owner, to be fair.
Someone in the comment section just said Daniel Levy's like Mr. Krabs off of... SpongeBob.
Yeah, definitely.
He's Julius, man. He's Julius from My Wife and Kids.
Yeah.
So that's to one point that I was talking.
Everybody hates Chris. Sorry, everybody hates Chris.
I was talking earlier about this difference between people are talking about the Arabs and the money and all this stuff, and I was saying a businessman is different than an actual someone who cares about the football, like the Arabs or like Roman. They're willing to take a little bit of a hit if it means their club will win. It means that the fans are happy. Well, the businessmen, Americans or non-American, doesn't matter for me. They care about revenue minus the expenses that equals this amount of money. But the Arabs, and because I'm an Arab and I know how these people love football, yes, they run the club well, but also they care about winning. They literally care about football. They care about the fans being happy. They want to win for themselves. Like in Emirates, they're celebrating that the people of Emirates are celebrating that their sheikh won a treble for them. Everybody wants that for their club. Roman Abramovich wanted to win for himself. He liked the club and he wanted to win. That is so different from the people that run Liverpool, Arsenal, and Spurs. And that's why people don't understand. It's not only about the money coming to the Premier League from the Arabs. It's about passion. Passion from these Arab people.
110%. And I'll tell you this now about Spurs. Spurs are basically, all they've now got is a Westfields with a football pitch. That's it. They're Westfields with a football pitch. They're a commercial venture. And you know what I get sick and tired of hearing? Well, we can't compete with the billions of the Arab nations. You can, though. They can't pump all that money in. They're limited to £100 million every 3 years of personal investment. All the billionaire owners of football clubs can pump money in. The Cronkies are richer than Roman Abramovich was, but Roman Abramovich invested more money. He invested £1.4 billion of his own money into the football club. All of our owners can do this if they choose to. We've got to stop defending their lack of ambition as we can't compete with nation states. Yes, you can. You can. You absolutely can. Like these are multi-billionaires. These are not people like me and you. Do you know what I'm saying? They're multi-billionaires, £100 million maximum. They've all got billionaire friends. They can get their friends to sponsor the grounds, spot friends' business. Listen, the Cronkies, I always said about Arsenal, the Kroenke family are married into Walmart. Do you know how valuable Walmart is? Just get Walmart. Walmart could pay a lot more money than the Emirates to rename the stadium. Easily. Do a £100 million a year stadium deal. Pump all that money into the club. That can be done. It can be done. They just choose not to do it. Why? Because it's actually not feasible to pay that much money. It actually isn't a good return of investment. And that's what it's all about for them is what's the ROI, where certain owners, Roman was like it as an example, Sheikh Mansour's like it. It's not about how much money do we make out of sponsoring the club and growing the club. It's how successful can we make it. And that is
and that's exactly. I know we haven't seen much because we've had a mess of a season, right? But that's exactly why Todd Bowley got the club, because of his ambition and wanting to win. If you've seen what he's done with the LA Dodgers, this is a winner. And if you've done a lot of, if you actually do, Gal, if you watch a lot of interviews with Todd Bowley before he even took Chelsea, he's all about winning. He's got a lot of ambition. I know he spent a lot of money.
He talks a lot of
but
shit. That's what
he's
he
got-
is.
He's about to rob you of 60 million, bro. I wouldn't.
He talks a
Listen,
lot.
Igal, where he went
Nah,
wrong.
the moment you lost me is when you tried to compare Roman Abramovich to Todd Bowley. Nah,
No. You're missing the point, bro. I said the reason why Todd Bowley got picked as the owner is because of the ambition and wanting to win, not just wanting to come in and make a profit on X amount of players or sponsors or whatever. The Glazers don't care who they're going to sell to. It don't matter to them. They just want the most money. But Roman actually cared about who the club was going to get sold to. That's one thing that I'll say. So I do agree with Mo. That's a really good point you make. Like ambition's a really good big
So
thing.
you really think Todd
Bowling.
Bowley likes the club? It's not only about the winning mean money, but I'm telling you, the Arabs and Roman, they loved their clubs. It's like their thing. They made a connection with the
have you seen how much he's won of the
I
Dodgers?
want to say as well, by the way, back in the day when it used to be local millionaires that owned their club, they again weren't looking for profit.
Moratti at Inter.
They're just not rich enough in 2023 to own these football clubs. They don't have the connections to bring the sponsorships in. But yeah, there's